if you're a skeptic like me, give it a try. You got nothing to lose.
YARIV BROITMAN is an Israeli. Me too. He lives in California. And I worked with him. I gave him the sessions of hypnosis, the method which I call it transformational restart. And we had the session, actually we started that about 10 months ago in 5th of December 2019, sorry. And I decided I wanted to interview you and to ask you, first of all, how are you?
I'm doing better. I'm doing better. I'm more optimistic about the future. Like we discussed a few days ago, starting a new adventure in my life, and hoping it will take me far. I feel that I'm out of the hole, kind of. I don't want to say completely out of the hole, because I don't, but I feel like I'm on the right path, and I feel a lot calmer lately, even though I have my drops every now and then. Sometimes it's pretty often, but still I know I deal with them better. I have, like I said, I'm much more optimistic about the future. A few weeks ago something clicked and I understood where's my path, and I'm following it, and I'm hoping that it will take me far.
Yeah, so we spoke about that, and congratulations for your new project. But
Thank you.
before we're going to talk about the new project and where you are, because you went through almost a year and a half of a very hard, difficult crisis and hard time. Can you give us a bit on background of what you had? What put you in that crisis?
Well, it was more on the professional side. I had both myself and my wife, we had a pretty successful business online, and when we started feeling like it's fading away and it's not going in the right direction, we started looking for other options, and I started this partnership of construction business with somebody that I thought I knew, and that did not go well, and it put me in a very big financial hole, without prospect to a new opportunities or a new business. So here I am closing down a business in very difficult financial situation. I'm 45 years old. I have a daughter who is 3,000 miles away on the East Coast, that had her own trauma, but we're not going to get into that. And call it midlife crisis, call it whatever you want. All of a sudden, there's a realization of what do we do here? What do we do from here on? How do we continue from this dark place? And the more you don't have a solution, the longer you don't have a prospect, the longer you don't have a vision, you dive deeper and deeper and deeper down. And that's what brought me to this very bad place.
So how does it affect you, that situation, that hard situation, which was mainly the financial situation? okay, with your partner, but how it affected you and what was your daily day time?
I was in constant stress, but I call it hyper stress. I was in a in a place where I couldn't think. I couldn't do anything without this cloud hovering over my head, you know, and put me down all the time. I was simply stressed to the core. I couldn't think. I couldn't come up with new ideas. I couldn't function in a way. And it took me few months of, even when we closed down the business, I started looking for another job as, somewhere, whatever. And even that did not go well. I sent resumes like crazy. I didn't get a response. And it brought me to a place where I have panic attacks, few a day. And I cannot really function. I couldn't be there for my family. I couldn't be there for my kids, for my wife. Luckily, I have a very loving family. We're all very, very close, and they were very, very supportive. But I kind of affected them more than they did affect me, because, and I feel it, I brought the whole family to a worse place. And very, very dark place, very, very hard.
How long it took you there? How long you have been there?
I want to say about a year. About a year of constant self-beating and feeling a lot of shame and blame. And because of, I brought us here. And yeah, very, very dark place.
So during that time, that year, how was your daily day? What were you doing in the morning? How were you trying to build up your life?
Well, the first, when the whole thing kind of collapsed, I still had few months to close, loose ends on the business that I had. Fortunately, I didn't close them all, but I did my best. So I would still
a lot of debt, right?
I'm sorry?
You had a lot of debts.
A lot of debt, yeah. I'm sorry?
You owed a lot of money.
Yes. And money that I, some of it I still owe, but yeah, I guess it is what it is.
But that was because of the partnership and because of
the business that kind of failed. So in the first few months, I was still busy, closing the business. The stress was there all the time. I would still function. I would still move around. I would still talk to people. I would still look happy, but I was completely shut off. There was no joy. I'm sorry?
It was a kind of a mask. Like to have a mask. Like
totally. Yeah. Totally masking my feelings, masking everything pretty much. But inside, there's this lump in your throat that you can't get rid of. And even when you have a good day, it's still there. Even when you have good thing happening to you, it's still there. So that was the first few months. And then it was I was out of for that business, I was out of the house in a different city. And then I came back home after everything was closed. And I started looking for a job as an immediate remedy, as to fix whatever I can, as to make a living somehow. And that did not go well. Even though I have a pretty rich resume, I've done a lot of things, I couldn't find something that would even resemble something that can fit. And that brought me down even deeper. Now I'm at home with a lot of debt, not working, and with no prospect, with nothing in the near future. So yeah, that was a very hard time.
So and then you saw the article which I published.
Correct.
And we had the contact.
It was funny because you when I saw it on a Los Angeles Facebook group.
Yeah.
And you said you're from Valencia.
Yeah.
And there's a small town in near LA that is called Valencia that I used to live there for a long time. And in my mind, because you publish it in the LA group, you're from there. I'm like, well, that's funny because he says he's going to, places that I know, but I don't know the guy. So I decided to reach out. I think I reached out through Facebook. I said, yeah, my name is YARIV. I would like to hear what you have to offer, because at this point, I'm taking anything. Not to say that you're anything, but I'm taking anything that is out of the ordinary for me. Because this is not ordinary for me. This is, and we got to know each other, and you know how skeptic I am, and how.
Wait! Don't run! Don't run! Where have you been with the process, and what could have been if you didn't have it? What do you think? What do you estimate?
I think the free fall would continue. I think when we started, after the first session, I was in euphoric for a couple of days. Something that didn't happen to me for years and years. And it was so new and so different to what I'm used to. But it gave me such a kick in the stomach, in a good way. And I think that if I haven't met you, if we haven't done this, I think it would have. I don't think I would go straight to my death, of course. But I think it would take me longer, and it would have been a much harder, journey for me if it hasn't been. I feel that you took a lot of the pain away straight out of the first session. The pain, the fear, the anxiety kind of subside a little bit, and showed me that there's
a door, there's an exit.
There's life. Yeah, there's a better place out there.
I remember something about that session, the first session, and actually, you've told me that 2 or 3 weeks afterwards, after we start working, and because you didn't mention that before up front, and you said that you were taking sedatives. You used to take daily sedatives, and after that session as well, you stopped taking it for a while, at least for a while. That's
until today, until this day. Yeah, I it's not that I'm looking at it as an addict that is a dry alcoholic or whatever.
Yeah.
No, I'm not there. But so if I feel that I have to take half his Xanax, I will. But I think the tools that I have today give me longer. How should I put it? It gives me a better way to cope, and because I can cope a little bit better, or a lot better, or whatever it is.
Whatever it's talking about emotion. It's difficult to say a lot or a little bit. It's emotion.
I can deal with my fear and my anxiety better, so I don't have to, I don't have to run and take those pills that makes you feel calmer, and you can all of a sudden think, because the fog is it's clearing. But when you get tools to like what you gave me, you can clear the fog at least partially and continue.
Yeah, but it's partially, but it's good enough to start with.
Correct. Yeah.
Because the time is still there. The hard time is still there. But
Yes.
at least you can see that there is a beam of light, that, and you know that you follow that light, you can get out of that fog, what you call fog.
Yes. And without, you know, without being too dramatic, but I think it was a life-changing experience, really, because those things that we dove into and we took that journey would never ever, I would think, in a to go on that journey. I mean, I kept doing my whole life the same things, and this was out of the ordinary for me. This was okay. I'm always walking this path. Let's take a different path. See where it takes me. And I think it gave me strength.
You know, Albert Einstein said,
Yeah.
lunatic or madness is to keep doing the same thing
and expect different results. Exactly.
Yeah. And this is exactly when you said you put it here, and as a different path, and it's absolutely totally different path. So it's kind of, we worked about 6 weeks, and can you say that I know you good enough today?
I think you do. I think you know me.
I think we learned a lot to give you the right solution and to find, because this is a personal solutions, because it's not something that I'm giving to others. Yeah, I'm using the same tools with other people, but it's a personal to you. It's something which personally to you.
And I'm looking at those sessions not only as hypnosis or all those things that we did together. I'm looking at it almost as therapy. It's not conventional therapy, but it's therapy. I mean, expressing my feelings and my emotions, it doesn't matter if I'm under hypnosis or not under hypnosis, is a change for me.
Yeah.
And that alone kind of opened the whole thing to the new experience. The whole just opening myself and putting myself out there. That was the first step. That was what helped me get to a better place.
How did you feel during the session, the hypnosis? Well, during the whole session, because the session was supposed to be 2 hours, and sometimes they were even more, much more. And
Right.
and how did you feel? So we started by talking, and then went to do the hypnosis. How did you feel during the sessions? What it made you feel?
It was always very. It's like taking load off your shoulders in a way. It's like putting everything that you worry about, everything that this fog, and putting it out there, and getting a feedback, and listening to to another person that has a lot of experience in this kind of therapy, giving you feedback and telling you, first thing, validating those feelings and acknowledging those feelings and giving you tools, saying, hey, you got all those problems, but here are tools to deal with them. And that kind of, every time after a session with hypnosis and everything, I would feel great. Even if it was for couple of hours, it would just, this weight that is constant, even now, constantly on my shoulders, all of a sudden somebody would take and help me carry some of the load. Yeah, that's the feeling.
Yeah. So tell me, which one of the sessions really affected you the most? Because I remember that you said that the first ones, you always felt ups and downs, that, like you just mentioned, the ups after the session, and then there's a down and ups and down. Which affected you the most?
I think was it the last session or the one before that we did not sure what the term for it in English when you.
The regression, the past life regression.
Yeah. The past life.
That
I
was the
think
fourth one.
the fourth one.
Yeah.
I think that was. You probably remember, and you have it recorded. I didn't stop crying the whole whatever length of time it took. I kept crying and talking and crying and talking. It was very, very emotional. It gave me. It's like if I'm YARIV, right, and I live in this body and I live in myself all the time. It was like taking myself out, you know, like 200 yards out, looking at the whole situation. That's what it felt to me. It felt like you are carrying all this load, you are stressing about every little thing for the dumbest reasons, and that shouldn't be this way. I don't know if you remember, if I can use that word, and excuse my language. I told you after this session, everything is bullshit. Everything that I'm carrying on me, it's all a bunch of crap. I don't need that.
Yeah.
And that was the feeling. Again, I don't want to say, okay, it was like a magic trick and all of a sudden I'm a free man. No. It's a process that I'm still going through. I'm not cured, but I'm in a much better place than what I was. And I know that the process will continue within myself, going to a better place even.
The session that you had and the memory that you brought, do you remember? You recall that? I remember yours.
Yes.
Even though that it was like almost a year ago, 10 months ago at least. Okay, and I remember that. And basically the story was there that even harder than your current life situation.
Yeah, much harder.
That was from a memory from the Second World War.
Yes, and I was myself and my son, I believe it was. We were running away. We were running away to the woods.
Yeah.
We were. I don't think it was my son there though. I think it was my dad.
It was your dad.
Yeah, but he's my son today.
Yeah. But we don't have to go
yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy, but
it's not. The point. Look, it doesn't really matter how crazy it sounds to other people.
Right.
The most important thing is for you, it doesn't sound crazy.
Not at all.
But it's also gave you a vision and understanding. If you've been there, so now everything is like you said, it's bullshit.
Yeah, and not only that, I think the fact that my wife, my daughter, my son were there too.
Yeah. In their different lifetime.
Yes, they were not necessarily in the same roles,
yeah.
But they were there. And all of a sudden I understood what love is all about. Because our souls are connected, mine and theirs. And when you see love kind of shines on everything else. It makes everything else seems irrelevant.
Yeah, because one of the things, YARIV, that he had, and now in this current, it's not the current anymore, but it's the one that you're getting out of, the crisis in your life that you're getting out of it, is you are worried about your family, about your wife, your daughter, son. And this is why what I call that we have energetic scar from a previous life. We have a memory in our subconscious mind from a previous life, and your scar, what came up, your energetic scar that came up, was with the same people that you live today.
Yeah.
Okay, with the same souls that you lived then in a previous lifetime, you actually living today in different roles, but you're living with them today. and you can feel the same love that you felt there to the people now.
Yes.
And
I felt, wow, even now I'm tearing up. I felt so much love. It was like, you know, it was like looking at the sun. It was insane.
Yeah. So that was a strong and
very emotional, yeah.
That was a strong, because this is also the only session that where you're talking, and it's the longest session.
Yeah.
The hypnosis session.
Yeah.
The longest one.
I didn't shut up.
No, because that's the only session that you talk. I just ask questions in that session. I just guide you. But yeah, it's in that session that was the one that changed everything for you.
Yes. Yeah, it was, well, the other sessions did, you know, I think kind of prepared me for that. I don't know if you remember, but when we tried to dive in, it took us a couple of tries. I think we even started one day, ended up doing it on a different day because I couldn't get in. I couldn't feel it. I would start telling a story and then I would stop.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. Actually, yes, you're right. Because in the fourth session, that regression, we were supposed to do it in one day, and then you felt blocked, and I said, no worries, we'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we met the next day again, and we did it again, and then it worked, and you went on.
Yeah, it also didn't work the first try. Because yeah.
This I didn't remember that point, but that's true. You're right.
Yeah,
right.
And it was hard. It was hard to get in, but it was worth. Wow, it was worth every second of it. It was. Again, the other session kind of built the foundation. Gave me a little bit more strength, and being the logic skeptic guy that I am, gave me a little bit more faith. I think you gotta have faith to dive into something like this, because otherwise you won't feel it.
The purpose of the first session up to this regression, past life regression, is meant to clear all the hard memory, emotions that you're carrying from this current life, from your childhood. The things that really bother, disturbs you, and you can see them immediately. Okay?
Yeah.
It's like we had a conversation and we said, like, okay, we cannot talk about spirituality or what is spiritual when you're suffering, when you're inside your hole, in your
right.
cave.
Okay? You're in a survival mode, and
exactly.
You don't care about anything but surviving.
So when person is in surviving mode and then you can come and say spiritual things, yeah, okay, fine, it doesn't really work, because right now all I can see is I need to survive.
Yes.
Okay?
100%.
But that as well was to clear the things and to prepare you and to create as well the confidence in you that first of all you can, and you felt it, or you felt all this emotion, including ups and downs, but it's okay, it's part of it. Because to have doubts, it's good, it's okay, it's kind of protection. Not in the process, because I need to overcome the doubts in the process, to create the confidence. So that's why we're doing it, and we clear it.
Break that skepticism wall, because nothing can get through when you're skeptic. Nothing. When you don't believe, you can live 100 lives and still not be connected to any of them because you don't believe it.
Yeah.
You're not there. But, and again, until this day, I'm like amazed of what happened there. Like, where did this story come from? How did this even happen? Because I'm a skeptic guy.
Now you can choose what you prefer to give the energy to, the skepticism or to this new door that can lead you to a spiritual.
I really love the fact that until this day, a few months after, every time, like you asked me a few days ago, how do you feel about that session? And I told you, it's always a bright spot. It's always a place that is fun to go back to. It's always a good thing and a positive memory. And even today, getting that perspective, what I talked about, being outside of myself, looking at my situation differently. That is the tool that I needed. That is the tool that helped me, move on.
You lost something else during, we spoke about that as well. During the regression session, there's some other benefit that lost fear. You know what I'm talking? We spoke about
Fear?
death.
Oh, the fear of dying. Yeah. Actually, in the session itself, you took me to my deathbed. And I didn't mind dying. I didn't mind it because I had all the people I love around me. And that's all I needed back then. And that was amazing. And, death is still not
nobody wants to die.
Exactly. It's not a positive thing or whatever, but it's not this scary, place anymore to me. I mean, I would, again, just knowing the fact that what are we afraid of when we die? We're afraid of stop being. We're afraid that we won't have our loved ones anymore.
Fear of
and that was thrown out the window because here I am, I don't know, 100 years later, 50, 70 years later, whatever, here I am with the same people.
Let me just explain that point with the same people, because the people who was going to watch this video, so they can understand what we're talking here about. Because during this session that we're doing the regression, past life regression, the person who is inside this regression and he can see his previous life, one of the previous lives, he can also define, and he knows the people around him in that life, that he can see if he can recognize them in his current life. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it's not, but this is one of the benefits that you had when you can, and that's basically why this memory came up for you.
And there were no faces, it's not like that. It's all about energy. It's all about, I know her, she's my daughter now.
You felt the energy.
Because I know.
Yeah.
She didn't look the same. She didn't talk the same, nothing. So it was
different times in history.
Yeah. Very powerful. Very powerful.
And yet you can recognize the energy of the people.
Yeah. Looks like we crossed paths more than once.
We cross paths and we come together with the same souls that we've been. It's kind of a group of souls that we coming and going, and some of us are here, some of us are there in between, but we always have the same souls that we're going together. And this is amazing. This is an amazing process, and this is also what affected you. How do you see your life from now?
I feel like I'm out of the dark place. I have a lot more work to do. I'm still not out of the woods, as they say. I'm still not completely relaxed and whatever it is, content, whatever it is, happy, joyful, whatever. I'm still worrying, I'm still stressed, but it's from a different place. I know what I need to do. I understand what road I should take. I understand what is my role here to begin with. Why am I here? What am I doing here? I understand it so much better. I understand the way that I should take. So there's still a way, but I know which way to go. And this is something that I didn't have before. Okay, so everything is shut down. Okay, so if you're in a room and you have 20 doors, they were all shut. I didn't have, it's not like, okay, I have few paths I need to choose. No, I had a wall. I didn't have nothing. Now I feel like I broke that wall. I have the weight to make, but that's easy. That's the hard part is to take down that wall.
Yeah. And that wall is basically what every person that lives with stress and anxiety, that's what they're facing as well. The same wall.
Yeah, and even if you have a little crack in the wall, because of all your stress and anxiety, you don't even see it. You don't know that you can go around the wall. You don't know that you can hit the wall here and it will. You don't see any of that. All you see is darkness.
YARIV, I want to ask you something that we're going to end this interview. And I think, first of all, thank you for that, but I'll say it later. What is the message that you have for the people who are going to watch this video, that they are going through stress and anxiety? What can you recommend them about the process, about whatever, how to do?
If you're a skeptic like me, give it a try. Give it a try. You got nothing to lose. You only have something to gain. You want to be skeptic, great. Be skeptic. But like we just said, don't keep doing the same thing and expect different results. We sometimes have to force ourselves with all of our beliefs and knowledge and everything that we think we know. We must tell ourselves, maybe you don't know everything. Maybe you need to try something new. And this is what I did. I mean, I think I dove right into it because I was in such a horrible place. I would take anything at that point. Anything. If somebody would have offered me very horrible drugs and tell me, hey, that's going to help you, I might have tried it because I was in such a horrible place. So try something good and new, and it worked for me. That's all I can say.
YARIV, thank you very much for